What's up, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for Back to 12 podcast, coming to you right before the start of Texas Tech men's basketball and their game against Texas Southern. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. This is an awesome live for me, and I hope everybody comes back and watches the beginning here because I really, truly want to give a thank you to y'all. Lyle and I truly mean this when we say it, and I know there's only one person in here, but we'll eventually get some more people in here as the thing gets going. But I really just want to say thank y'all. Thank you so much to getting us to 1,000 subscribers. We truly mean it. It really, truly does mean a lot to us that y'all would just give us your time to talk to us and everything. And I'm tweeting this out because I want to have y'all be in here. And when we're talking about this and everything, it just really does mean a lot. And we just want to say thank you to get us to 1,000. Hopefully we can get a few more thousand in here too. And really just talk about Texas Tech athletics on a larger kind of scale. You know, there's not a lot of daily stuff going on when it comes to Texas Tech. And so hopefully some people will hop in here. We'll get a couple more people going and get everybody in here and get the thing going, man. But let me get a poll out real quick as well. And then we'll go from there. Let's see here. If you haven't already, please be sure to like the video. We really appreciate it. Going to ask the community to answer that question as well, but going to go spread this as well. Going to go and make sure everybody can hop in here and everything like that. So I'm going to go spread, well, the word, I guess. There we go. Let me go do this. And I am going to go to Twitter real fast and let me know if that's where y'all are at. Let me know if that's how y'all found me and everything like that. Twitter, please be sure to like the video. Like I said, this should be some fun in terms of getting this going a little bit right before game number 2. If anybody has any questions about Texas Tech football, men's basketball, whatever it may be, hop in here. I'm ready to chat about it. Should be a lot of fun. We will go up till tip-off, maybe a little bit earlier, just to make sure I've got some cervezas ready for the game. But it should be a lot of fun talking about Texas Tech athletics and really just what's going on right now, specifically with football. And we can really start there in terms of what's going on. I think that's one of those things where you look at what Texas Tech is doing, and it's not very good right now. Let's face it. Being sure to go switch this over as well in terms of getting everybody in here and getting this thing going a little bit and making sure people know what's going on. Also, tell me where y'all are listening from. Are y'all listening from Lubbock? Where are y'all at? I know we only got 2 people in here. We're trying to build that community right now. Get a few more people in here. Be sure to like the video and then let me know where y'all are watching from in the comments. Very interested on that. And I always love to see. It was crazy the other day. I got a message from somebody on here that said they were listening in Brazil, and I was trying to figure out how the hell that happened. But hey, it's the power of YouTube and social media and everything like that. So a lot of fun, but let's jump into this as Texas Tech. Again, Texas Tech football will face Kansas this weekend, and let's be blunt about it. Appreciate you hopping in the chat, Red Raider Mitch. Let's be blunt about it. If Texas Tech doesn't win this weekend, they're not going to a bowl game. And I don't know exactly how people feel about that. I don't know what people's expectations were coming into this year. But for me, I thought a bowl game was probably going to happen. I thought that they'd go 6-6, but I'll be honest, I don't think that they go 6-6 this year if they don't win on Saturday. And that's where the poll question comes in: Donovan Smith or Tyler Shough. I think it's interesting. You can go both ways. I see both sides of the argument. I really, truly do. But here's the thing that I think changes the whole complexion of the Texas Tech offense. And you kind of saw it against TCU. And what was that? It's Donovan Smith and his legs. And now, by no means am I saying Donovan Smith is a better passer than Tyler Shough. In fact, I don't know who is the better passer right now. And I don't think anybody truly does know because we don't know what Tyler Shough is going to look like after the shoulder injury. He hasn't looked very good. The offense, it just looks limited with Donovan Smith and Tyler Shough out there. Let's just be real about it, right? Like that's how it looks. And so not having Baron Morton is going to be an issue because I think that he really hides a lot of flaws that this offense has, whether that's on the offensive line or in the wide receiver group, mainly the wide receiver group, because those wide receivers, and if you haven't listened to the podcast, Lyle talks about it ad nauseum, and who better than a former Texas Tech wide receiver himself, second all-time in TDs at Texas Tech, to talk about wide receivers, right? He says they can't create separation. He says that they are just not very good at using their hips and really kind of baiting the DBs to do something that they want to do. And so you notice that, and Texas Tech really doesn't have a lot of easy catches this year, right? Off the top of my head, and again, I'm thinking over the few games that we've seen here recently as well, the one that really stands out in terms of an easy catch was Jerron Bradley, right? So for me, it's going to be interesting to see exactly what's going on here with Donovan Smith and Tyler Shough. If you ask me who should start, and I want to hear y'all's opinion, not only in the chat, but also in the poll that's over there in the chat, who should start for Texas Tech. Again, it's between Tyler Shough and Donovan Smith. I mean, Baron Morton is out for the game. Personally, me, I'm going Donovan Smith. I really, really am. And the reason is this. I think he just adds a different dimension to your offense. And now I want to preface that by saying Donovan Smith has made a lot of mistakes throwing the football, but I mean, Tyler Shough has as well. Remember, his first pass that he had after coming back from the shoulder injury was a lame duck out to the left side where he had a pick six. And, you know, for me, I think really what this comes down to is just that run game aspect of it. I think Texas Tech has to run the football against Kansas if they want to be successful. And I think when you look at what that means, if you're not getting 35 to 40 carries out of SaRodorick Thompson, Cam Valdez, as well as Taj Brooks, I don't think you're doing it right. I think it's really that simple. So for me personally, I'm picking Donovan Smith as the starter. Now, they know as of today, if you listen to Joey McGuire, the starter who is going to be the guy on Saturday was told today by Joe McGuire. Us on the outside, we don't know that. I've asked a couple people that I know in the program. They ain't going to tell me. I'll give them that credit. They got that under lock and key. They are not going to tell me when it comes to that. But it is interesting. I think it's a fun debate because I don't think there's like a right or wrong answer. It's really just your preference at this point. And this from Clark. Normally, I'd say Shough because he's won the job so many times. But with Kansas being weak against the run and the speed option being a cornerstone of our offense somehow, I think it's going to be Donovan, excuse me. This from Red Raider Mitch. To be fair, Shough was throwing pick sixes with a noodle arm. No need to be harsh there. No need to be harsh, Mitch. My goodness. No need to be harsh there at all, man. If y'all haven't already, be sure to like the video. Goes a long way. And again, if y'all missed the beginning part of this, I'm going to jump into Texas Tech basketball here in a minute. But I truly want to thank each and every one of you guys, whether that's Clark, Red Raider, Mitch. Shout yourself out so I can give you a shout out on here. If you're watching in the chat, drop a comment and I'll give you a shout out. Thank you guys so much for getting us to 1,000 subscribers. It was a goal of ours for football season. We've gotten that and then some. Going into it now, we're hoping to get 2,000 by the time that men's basketball season is over with. And I promise you, we'll be talking about Texas Tech men's basketball all the time right here on the channel. I just love interacting with y'all, hearing y'all's opinions, even if I don't agree with them. And I know y'all don't agree with me sometimes. I think that that's what makes this channel vastly different from other ones. We actually do listen and engage with y'all quite a bit and hear y'all's opinion and really kind of talk it out from y'all's side of point of view. And we just absolutely love it, Lyle and I do. So thank y'all so much for interacting with us. We really, really, truly appreciate it. So I know a lot of y'all have been paying attention to Texas Tech men's basketball the past couple of days. Obviously, Drew Steffe signed his national letter of intent in the early signing period for Texas Tech. And well, the other one, in terms of the other commit for Texas Tech in the class of 2023 for Texas Tech men's basketball is, well, A guy that I'm super excited about, if I'm being quite honest with you. I think he's an absolute star, at least potential wise. I think he's a guy that Texas Tech just, again, if I'm being honest, simply hasn't had at the point guard position. And you kind of watch his videos, and of course I'm talking about Jason Jackson, the four-star point guard from Florida. And a lot of people have been asking me, why has Jason Jackson not been, or why has he not signed his national letter of intent yet? Well, I got confirmation from a coach on the Texas Tech staff. The reason he hasn't signed yet is because of the hurricane and the tropical storm going on down in Florida right now. So they're taking extra precautions. Him and his family are wanting to stay safe. But he will sign, from what I was told, on Friday, November 11th, sometime during the day. So no worries, nothing going any, no funny business or anything like that. He will sign with the Red Raiders. He just wants to be safe with his family, which is completely understandable with that tropical storm. I'm not sure that it's upgraded to a tornado down there in Florida, but they've got some nasty weather going on down there. So really, they're just staying safe and everything like that. So should be good to go tomorrow when it comes to Jason Jackson. Let me tweet that out real quick, and y'all can go share that if y'all are listening to that. Drop a comment too. I saw Ryan did. Shout out to Ryan. I saw he posted one of my tweets over in a Facebook group. I appreciate that, man. And by the way, just a quick heads up, if the fiance walks in, don't worry about her. The dogs will just go crazy, and maybe you'll get to see Murphy, the dog. He was the star of the show last time. I got multiple DMs on Twitter about him. So that was kind of cool. But this is from Ryan. In terms of wide receiver, I know it's a long shot, but do we have freshman wide receiver Tyler King, who has speed? Why not get him in and see if he can create separation? I know he was struggling through an injury during camp. I think he's healthy now. I don't want to say exactly if he is or not, but I know he was struggling with an injury throughout camp. Obviously, we're well past camp at this point. So, but yeah, I think really what it comes down to, Ryan, is this. I don't know if he matters at this point. I don't think one guy is going to change this. I think this is an issue from the wide receiver one to wide receiver whatever on the roster. There's just not enough speed in terms of what they have on this offense right now. So yeah, and let me send this tweet out real quick. If y'all have any more questions, be sure to drop them in there. We'll answer anything Texas Tech related while we're here. All right, cool. If anybody has any questions, again, I'm gonna send this out real quick, and we can talk about Drew Steffe and everything like that. I think it's going to be an interesting conversation to be had about him, as well as Jason Jackson, a guy that, again, I am super super high on personally when it comes down to what Texas Tech has got. And shout out to Al Pinkins on him, because that's how Texas Tech got him, was because of Al Pinkins. Simple and plain. Sweet. There we go. Just had to send that out real quick and everything like that. If you see the dogs freak out, it's just the fiance. Okay. She's coming in. But again, that's the reason that Jason Jackson hasn't signed his national letter of intent, excuse me, was because of the weather impacting Florida right now. He's going to be a Red Raider. There's no need to worry about that or anything. It's going to just be one of those deals where, you know, it's hey, that's what's going to happen when it comes to a national, kind of deal and everything. When you're not just in the state of Texas, when you're outside of the state of Texas as well, and obviously a hurricane's going to impact that greatly when it comes down to it. But yeah, I think that's really the biggest thing right now for Texas Tech. Everybody's trying to figure out the whole Drew Steffe, Jason Jackson. What is Texas Tech going to do on that front of things? And I think that really they'll be all right when it comes down to it. And don't be surprised if they add another guy in the class of 2023. I know Jazz Gardner has been a point of conversation for a lot of people. I would expect him to be in the running for Texas Tech for a long time. He's going to probably push his commitment back, or at least his commitment announcement date, until I would probably say the end of his season. Maybe we're looking at the February, March range, but should be interesting to see if Texas Tech can go after him. I had the privilege of meeting him and his family while they were out in Lubbock for his official visit. Awesome family. And I know Jazz is one of those guys that really likes Texas Tech. It'll probably come down to St. Mary's, Texas Tech, and probably Pepperdine, just depending on if he wants to stay close to home or go the route of, high-level mid-major basketball, just kind of really up to him at that point. So let me look real quick. I know that somebody sent me a DM on here and everything. We see this. Let me just make sure. Oh, there we go. It was Ryan. There we go. Only the second game of the season, and there's a long line for Texas Tech. And that was Ryan who sent me that. So, but yeah, I know that some people were freaking out over that. And again, that was from a Tech staffer that told me that in terms of he hasn't signed yet due to the tropical storm and the hurricane down in Florida. But again, let me know. I don't know if y'all seen Jason Jackson, his highlights. I strongly encourage you to go look them up after you're done listening to me on here. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't think Texas Tech has had an athletic point guard like him maybe ever. And I'm not trying to stretch this either. Like, from a point guard perspective, I don't know if they've ever had a guy like this. And for you guys that like the NBA and everything like that, he kind of reminds me of a Malik Monk. If you remember him at Kentucky, he went 8th overall. He was a lottery pick. Was part of that team at Kentucky that went to the Elite Eight, I believe, under Coach Calipari. So yeah, I mean, he's a stud, man. And I think Drew Steffe, you can definitely tell there was a big point of emphasis by this Texas Tech staff over the past 2 years, whether that was in the portal, whether that was in the high school recruiting ranks. They went after shooters. And that's a thing. That's something that stood out in game number 1 for me. And we can talk about Texas Tech basketball here in a minute, just broadly, because I do expect them to cover the spread tonight against Texas Southern, who is actually picked to win the SWAC. But the SWAC is typically one of the worst basketball conferences in America. But when you look at what Mark Adams and crew have done, what they've really decided to do was don't go away from that athlete aspect of things, right? Don't do that. But we want to get athletes that can shoot and can do other things and are versatile on the offensive end, because their philosophy is this, and it's the right one in my opinion. We can teach them to play defense, right? There's some things offensively that you just have a God-given ability, whether that's, quick twitch, whether that's, you've worked on something where you just have a handle, right? Like, there's some things that, yeah, you can help a guy get there, but overall, some of these things, like, they know their strengths in the program, and that's, hey, we can be good recruiters, but most importantly, we can teach these guys how to play defense, right? We can figure out the offensive stuff in terms of the Steve Greens of the world. They have that and everything. But we're going to go get guys and recruit guys that are high-level offensive basketball players already, right? And so now they're just transitioning these guys. And you see it in game 1, right? There's going to be a wide-open offense now, a lot more spacing. And now, I'll be honest, they need to cut down on the turnovers. And Mark Adams, when I was talking to Luke and a couple of other of the coaches as well, when I was out there during the preseason, I asked them, I was like, hey, what's going to be like the biggest thing that probably takes a little bit for Texas Tech men's basketball to get better at? And there's 3 of them talking to me kind of in a little circle, all at the same time said turnovers. Like, that quick. They said turnovers. And you saw it in game 1, right? You had 19 assists, but people got a little bit too pass happy on some of these shots they probably should have taken and had 20 turnovers. So I think when you look at what Texas Tech has, it's awesome. I think that they're phenomenal at what they're doing right now in terms of the recruiting process and really everything that's gone right for them. But at the same time, they're going to keep going after it. And I think that they're going to target a big. But the beauty of this roster right now is you're young, right? You have 7 guys that are underclassmen. And so theoretically, you could have all 7 of those guys come back next year. You add Jackson, you add Steffe, maybe you add Jazz as well, and then you add a couple of bigs in the portal potentially, but you may not even need a couple of bigs. Maybe Fardaws, Amac comes back next year. You got Daniel Batcho, who still has eligibility. Unfortunately, Kevin Obanor, this is his last year of eligibility. But overall, when you look at what Texas Tech has, the foundation to be really, really good, even for this year, is high. But then you have building blocks on building blocks of young players. Think about it. You got Pop, you got Lamar, you got Robert Jennings. You've got other guys as well that have done a really good job of developing their body, and now they're developing their game as well in real time. So really good stuff by Texas Tech in that regard on the floor. For those who haven't already, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're giving you daily Texas Tech videos all year long. I'm going to try to make this a regular thing on Thursday where if y'all have any questions, please ask me in the chat. Be sure to go vote on the poll. Send me something on Twitter. By all means, Ryan did that. I liked it right away. Saw it. Like, just, hey, interact. That's what we're here to do. We love interacting with each and every one of you guys. So again, be sure to like the video, share it to your friends that you know are Texas Tech fans, and then, hey, might as well, chat as well in here. We're going to be in here for a few more minutes as Texas Tech is just about 30 minutes away from the second game of the year at the USA, where they will take on the Texas Southern Tigers. But yeah, overall, I mean, I think that that's the biggest news right now in Texas Tech outside of obviously the football side of things, is Jason Jackson. And give me one word in the comments real quick. Anybody, how are you feeling about this Texas Tech basketball team? Like, just one word. Are you excited? Are you worried about something? Like, just let me know in the comments what you're thinking about this Texas Tech men's basketball team, because I'll be honest with you, right now, I am super excited about it from multiple standpoints. I think that this is probably the most excited I've been about a Texas Tech basketball team in a little while, if I'm being quite honest with you. And it's because of the offensive shift and everything, and how you think about what's going on right now in the world of college basketball, with everything changing and all that kind of stuff, from the portal and whatever it may be. But I think for me, like, I'm just excited from the standpoint of, you saw Texas Tech had a vision, right? And that was something that really I didn't know if they were seeing or not, from the standpoint of, hey, we need to get better shooters on this roster, right? Like, we need to get better. And they addressed it and then some, right? So that was one thing that really excited me. And also just getting to meet Steve Green, talk to him for a couple minutes. That was super exciting as well. Obviously, he wasn't going to tell me every secret or anything like that, but just hearing kind of his basic plans for the offense and then seeing them come to fruition in game number 1 was kind of cool to see. Even if the competition wasn't that high, you want to see kind of what these guys are going to do. This from Matador Mike, ecstatic. Robert Garcia, yeah, what channel is it on? Clark answered it right there for you. It's on ESPN Plus, Big 12 now. So it's one of those unfortunate games where you need ESPN Plus. But it is what it is. This from Clark as well. Pumped and interested to see if we continue to switch all 5 players with true point guards. Yeah, I think that that's interesting as well. From the standpoint of, you think about it, Texas Tech has multiple true point guards on this roster for the first time since what? Keenan Evans? Like, and that's no disrespect to Matt Mooney or Davide Moretti. I look at those guys kind of more as combo guards that happen to be able to play point, right? So, like, true point guard to me is what Pop is. True point guard to me is what Devion Harmon is, right? I put Davide Moretti and the Matt Mooneys of the world kind of in that Lamar Washington category, where it's like, yeah, you feel good that they're running the point, but I don't think that they are, quote unquote, a true point guard, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think really when you look at it, um, the point guard aspect of things, I think can take Texas Tech to a new level offensively. And that's really because of this. It's the spacing and understanding it. And really the guy that I'm surprised, even by myself, liking this, right? Um, was I like Pop as the true point guard. And I was skeptical because he's known for his scoring and everything like that. I never questioned his, point guard ability. I think he's a good passer as well, but I was surprised by it because of this. Yes, he did have 5 turnovers, but I like the possibility of what the offense can be with Pop at the point guard position. And hear me out. Criticize me if you want in the comments. I'm all about it. This is why I like it. I like if Pop is at the point guard position to allow Devion to be outside. And let's just say that this is with the starting five. For those that don't know the starting five, it's probably going to be Pop, Harmon, Tyson, Obanor, Batcho until Fardaws comes back. But maybe Batcho just takes that spot. Who knows, right? So that's the starting five. The reason I like it is because it allows you to kind of just allow Devion Harmon to do what he does best, which is just slash, cut to the basket, run baseline. Devion Harmon is a much better shooter than people think. Let's just face it. He is. He shot over 35% last year at Oregon. He continues to get better from behind the arc. Is he going to be a world beater, Davide Moretti type guy from the arc? No. But he can flat out shoot the ball from the outside. Okay? So I like it because you can run pick and roll with Pop at the top, right? Let's say it's with Batcho. Or actually, let's make it with Kevin Obanor. And that allows Batcho to be on the block where he's most utilized, but he can also set a backdoor screen for Devion Harmon. Allow Devion Harmon to run cross court or just right there at the basket, layup. Or it can run it to the corner, shoot it, right? But this also allows Jalen Tyson, who I think is one of the smartest guys on this team when it comes to basketball IQ. I truly believe that, and I think that's saying quite a bit just due to him being a redshirt sophomore, not even 20 yet, I think. He is really, really good at understanding space. And you kind of saw that in game one, albeit against a lesser opponent. But you saw him kind of, when he got into a situation that he was kind of tucked in, he was like, all right, I got to get out of here. So he went to the other corner. And maybe it takes himself out of the play for a second, but it also opens a lot of things up for Texas Tech. And that's something that really impressed me about him. So I'm really excited to see that. Also, just guys coming off the bench. Kerwin Walton, I think, was vastly underutilized at UNC on their national championship run last year. I think he's going to play a pivotal role off the bench for Texas Tech this year. Obviously, I'm a big Lamar Washington fan. Fardaws isn't quite healthy yet. He will be by Big 12 play, according to Mark Adams. So that's always good. But yeah, this from Ryan, question about the Lady Raiders basketball keeping a local product. And honestly, Brandon Francis said it all. Yeah, I think I want to make sure that I get this right in terms of her name. I saw it today. A couple of their coaches talked to me about her, and she was actually on her official visit to Texas Tech, even though I believe she's a Monterey product. Yeah, Monterey product. It's Kelly Mora. Committed and signed her national letter of intent to stay in Lubbock. Yeah, I think, again, I talked about it on another video where I'm excited about Lady Raider basketball, but I think we got to be patient with the expectations. They're young. They have a couple of veteran players. But overall, when you look at the foundation in terms of the young players, the Coach Gerlich, by the way, those boots, electric, Coach Gerlich. Electric. That hoodie, we need it. We need it. We all need it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out the Lady Raiders and their Twitter handle. It's at Lady Raider WBB. If you don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to the boots that Coach Gerlich was wearing, those things were elite. But Ryan, to answer your question, yeah, they kept her. They also signed a couple other girls as well that the one that I think people should really, really know about is Logan Johnson. That girl's going to be a stud, the 5'9" guard from Christian High School. She was out at Texas Tech as well when on her official visit. All three of the girls in this class that committed to Texas Tech were out there for the Houston game weekend. Logan is from Houston, so she was out there for that game. And we had the opportunity to meet them. Awesome to talk to them a little bit, get to know them a little bit. But yeah, Logan is the one that kind of excites me because I think she can be really, really good. And I mean, right away. I truly do. And you look at what Texas Tech did in the portal this year, bringing in a girl from the SEC, bringing in another girl from UT. You got a lot of talent in your freshman class as well. You got the Gatorade National or Gatorade Texas Player of the Year for 2A coming in, and Bailey. You got a lot of really good players coming in. So I'm really excited about what they're doing. But it's one of those deals where, again, please just stay patient a little bit when it comes down to it, because they'll be good, but you just got to give her a little bit of time to make sure, because you got to remember where Marlene left this. And I get it. It's what, year 3 for Coach Gerlich, but you got to remember where Marlene Stallings left this and kind of the scandal that engulfed that program for a little bit. You got to give the legend and Coach Gerlich a chance to really build this program back up to hopefully its glory days. But also, I don't think that should be the expectation. I think this should be, a expectation of building, right? Like, okay, go in and win X amount of games in the Big 12, then be over 500, then compete at the top of the Big 12 and make the NCAA tournament, make the second weekend of the NCAA tournament, so on and so forth. And I think they'll get there. I really, truly do. When will that be? I'm not sure, but I do think that the building blocks are there in terms of the coaches, first and foremost, the coaching staff that they have in place. I think they've done a phenomenal job on the women's side as well as the men's side as well. But I think really the thing that they stand on the most, that I think really these girls are buying into, is what Coach Gerlich is talking about. Like, she doesn't lie to you. Like, that's the thing that I learned in this practice. And, that should be obvious. It really should be. But there are some coaches that are just going to tell you what you want to hear, right? Like, it's the sad truth about it. Coach Gerlich doesn't do that. She's going to be blunt and honest with you. She'll be nice about it. She'll give you that little Southern charm with it. But she's going to shoot you straight. And that's something that I respect not only about Coach Gerlich, but it's also about the men's side as well with Coach Adams. Like, he's not going to sugarcoat anything to you. Prime example, we were watching practice, and Demarion Williams, he was struggling that day, even by his own admission. Coach Adams was letting him have it. Like, hey, man, if you want to play, you better play defense, right? I guarantee. And in the next 2 possessions, what does Demarion do? Creates a charge, and then he has a tip pass, right? Like, the buy-in is there. They're going to shoot you straight. They're going to coach you, and they're going to love you hard, right? Like, that's what they do. In Texas Tech basketball, just the programs in general, they're in a great spot. Great spot. In my opinion. And so is football. I don't want to put football down at all either. I've been critical of Kitley this past week. If you haven't listened to the podcast, I kind of went off on Lyle. Lyle and Kitley are pretty good friends. But I went off on Kitley. I mean, it was one of those things where I just didn't get it. I don't get how the hell you decided to run Baron Morton right there on 3rd and 11, a QB power option, when he's already had an ankle injury earlier this season, probably not fully recovered from it. And then you run him there. I didn't understand a lot of the QB power option runs, if I'm being completely honest, but just kind of my opinion. Again, one more time, thank y'all so much for getting us to 1,000 subs. Lyle and I work a lot at this channel, and we just love interacting with each and every one of you guys and girls. We just love having this platform and really creating this community for Texas Tech sports, where there's nothing like it really on YouTube right now with the interaction and everything like that. There's really nothing like it on YouTube. So we really appreciate you guys. Here's to 2,000. Hopefully we can get there soon. That's the next goal. We'll be giving you daily Texas Tech videos throughout basketball season as well. Don't worry about that. So, it's awesome. This was a goal of mine by the end of the year to have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and y'all made that goal come true. So we really, really appreciate y'all. So be sure, again, if you haven't already, subscribe, like this video, tell your friends if they're Texas Tech fans about the channel as well. And if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter. A lot more interactive over there just because it's a little easier, you can follow me at RCMB323. This from Christopher: power plays with QBs. Why? Yeah, I don't know, Chris. I don't know. I don't mind it as much with Donovan, right? Because I think that that's kind of part of his game. Like, he's just an overall powerful dude. Um, I wish he wouldn't slip as much, but it is what it is. But at the same time, it's like, what the hell are you doing with Baron Morton? Like, that's just a dumb move. Like, and I get it. You're trying to catch the defense off guard. That was kind of Lyle's argument, but catch him off guard with somebody else, not your starting quarterback. You're Texas Tech. You haven't had good luck health-wise with the starting quarterback since, I mean, shit. Who knows? I mean, like, golly. I mean, you haven't had it since when was the last time you had a healthy quarterback? Nick Shimonek? Like, right? Was that the last time? And that's the last one I could think of. You had the whole Alan Bowman fiasco. Henry Columbi. You had Jet as well. I mean, Tyler Shough. I mean, like, you just haven't had luck with it. So why push it? And yeah, Clark, I agree. You have a lot of running backs. And I'll say this, guys. I've been told this. Do not be surprised if this turns into a three-headed monster at the running back position moving forward. In terms of, not because they want to take carries away from Taj Brooks or SaRodorick Thompson. They're just that high on Cameron Valdez. Like, Cam is a good running back, and the Texas Tech backfield is in very good hands once SaRodorick leaves this year, and Taj is probably back next year with Cam. I'll tell you what, Cameron Valdez, he showed a little bit against TCU. He's going to be a good running back, a very, very good running back for Texas Tech. One-cut guy, puts his right leg, left leg into the ground, and you can see it. Once he has that cut, he gone kind of deal. He makes a quick, fast decision. So I'm interested to see how many more carries they get him, because I think he can be one of those guys that really helps the offense down the stretch in terms of there's not a lot of film on him. He's a little bit different from SaRodorick and Taj. So I think you could do a little bit more things with him. But that doesn't mean you're taking away touches from Taj and SaRodorick. It means that you're just giving more touches to the running back position, which I think is a good thing if we're being quite honest about it. This from Christopher: Donovan Smith, QB runs good. Any other QBs is ludicrous. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those deals where it's like, I understand what your process is thinking of it, but also at the same time, it's like there's a time and a place, and that was not the time nor the place to do it. It's that simple. Ryan says Graham Harrell. Nah, Pat was relatively healthy. He was beat up, though. But, I mean, shoot, yeah, I mean, I think Nick Shimonek was the last guy to start a full season for Texas Tech. And what was that? That was the year after Pat left. So, what is that, 2017? So 5 years without a quarterback starting every game for you? It's a long time. This from Christopher as well. Here's my biggest question. What would you do as head coach in football to the right things? I mean, I think he's doing the right thing. Here's the thing. I'm not going to criticize Joey McGuire too much when it all comes down to it. I know some people don't like the fourth down calls. I'll just say this. I think you live and die by the sword. It is what it is. Like it or not, it sucks when you don't make it, but it's awesome when you do. So I think it's really that simple for me. Now, would I have gone for it personally? What was it, 4th and something on your own 30? If I was playing Madden, yeah. If I was the head coach of Texas Tech, probably not. But it's worked for him pretty well all year long. I mean, Texas Tech, again, first in the country in fourth down conversions. I believe they're second now in the country in opportunities. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I think what you know at this point, this is it. This is it when it comes down to it. The Texas Tech offense is not good. It's that simple. Like, they're just not. Joey McGuire is trying to figure out ways to not just basically ruin his defense. And the reason this defense isn't better statistically is because the offense is trash. I mean, let's just be real. Like, it's not good. And so Joey McGuire is trying to prolong these possessions and know that his defense is in a good spot. Tim DeRuyter has done an incredible job, right, as the defense coordinator. But this offense doesn't have a lot of weapons outside of the running backs and the tight ends. And the problem is you can't use your tight ends because you have to use them as extra linemen on the offensive line because your offensive line is so bad. And outside of Baron Morton, I don't really have a quarterback that I feel great about, right? And I didn't even know if I felt great about Baron Morton coming into the year. It's kind of a total 180 and then back to the spot I was at and then another 360, 180 again, right? So for me, I think that's why Texas Tech goes for it on fourth down so many times is because they're trying to steal possessions. That's really what it comes down to. They're just trying to steal a possession or two more, whether that results in a field goal, whether that results in a touchdown, whatever, maybe just time elapsed off the clock to give your defense a rest. That's really what it comes down to for me. It sucks, but I'll tell you this right now, and I've been told this. They're going to prioritize wide receivers and offensive linemen and the speedy kind of wide receivers in the portal. They're going to prioritize offensive linemen that can potentially come in and come play right away. Obviously, that should be a, hey, RC, you're not telling us anything new. Anybody with common sense can do that. But let's be real. There's some college coaches out there that suck, and they would not realize their team's weaknesses. They would just be hard-headed. Joe McGuire and crew are not doing that. They realize, oh, crap, we need to get better at this through the portal, better through high school guys. And they've done that. Look at the recruiting class for Texas Tech. They're building in the trenches because they know that's where the game is won, and we can get skill guys in the state of Texas. So that's kind of their philosophy right now. Jerry, listening from Plano, Texas, shout out to you. I am in downtown Dallas right now getting ready for Texas Tech men's basketball to tip off their second game of the year. Probably going to wrap this up here in the next 5 minutes. Again, if you have any questions, send them in. I'll answer them. Be sure to like the video. It really goes a long way. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Thank you to everybody that has 1,000 subscribers, man. That was our goal for the year, and we got it in November. And we appreciate the hell out of you guys for listening to us rant and just do ridiculous things. Lyle and I, just ridiculous things on here. So we really do appreciate each and every one of you. But again, probably the major news that y'all want to know about on the Texas Tech recruiting side of things, and I tweeted this out. Be sure to go follow me at RCMB323 if you haven't already over on Twitter. I tweeted this out about 30 minutes ago. Was told Texas Tech men's basketball class of 2023 four-star point guard commit Jason Jackson will sign his national letter of intent tomorrow, November 11th. He hasn't signed it yet due to the tropical storm/hurricane impacting Florida right now. So no fear. He is coming to Texas Tech. Nothing to worry about. He's just obviously prioritizing his family's safety and their health and everything right now. So definitely respect it from that standpoint. But he will be signing his national letter of intent tomorrow to come to the 806. And again, if y'all haven't already, go to our channel and look at this YouTube short that I posted. I posted a video of Jason Jackson and some of his highlights. The dude is otherworldly athletic. Texas Tech has not had a point guard like him in a long time, if not ever. So be sure to do that. Go show him some love on social media as well. I got a video over there if you want to see more of his highlights as well. So really good stuff from Texas Tech in the 2023 class with Drew Steffe. And I don't think they're done. Obviously, they're getting Jason Jackson as well, but I don't think they're quite done in terms of getting another guy as well, whether that's Jazz Gardner or maybe somebody else. But I'm going to wrap it up there. I appreciate everybody tuning in. As always, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Again, Texas Tech men's basketball tips off here in about 12 minutes against Texas Southern, the number 25 team in the country. And if Ryan sent me that video and it's any indication, the student section is going to be packed once again, and it may be a damn near sellout at the USA, as I expect every home game to be for the Red Raiders this season. Follow me on Twitter at RCMB323. And hey, leave us a comment here if you got any questions that I didn't answer in the video. As always, stay safe and wreck 'em Tech.